Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kangsha Chanudamardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagad Guru. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We salute Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, who is the destroyer of the demons, Kamsa and Chanura, and the most darling of Mother Devaki, and the leader and the Guru of the world. Om, peace, peace, peace. Now we are in the chapter number 1, verse number 24. The other day, I heard about Kali, the age Kali. It's a very negative age where mostly evil predominates. This is our Kali Yuga. Now we are passing through that. Evil predominates more than good. And the Dharma, the righteous living, the spiritual principles are not found much in the society. It is called, if the Dharma is considered to be like a bull, the bull is standing only one leg. How difficult. All the three legs, which was dominant in the other ages, truthfulness, honesty, love, compassion, fellow feeling, respect for each other, spirituality, all has gone one by one going. So it's a very dark age. But we heard that the blessings of this age is that if you do little spiritual practice, you gain a good merit. And another thing is that in this Kali Yuga, if you do something bad karma, you do something bad karma, that is no sin. That's the uniqueness of this age, an advantage of being born in this age, concession age. Because all are bad people, if little good someone does, God says, wow, he is a good boy, good girl. Huh? So that is the benefit of this age. Ramakrishna said, Holy Mother said, Moner pap noy. The sin incurred in your mind, in the thought, but not in action. That is not to be considered to be what is called sinful in this age of the circumstances. Anyhow, but this time, that then the Suta was appreciated by the rishis, and Suta said that the narrator, he said, that is the glory of the Lord, though I was not born in a high-born family, but by grace of the holy people and association of the holy, I have become like this, the greatness of the Lord. And then he suggests that, oh, you rishis, you sages, you are great Vedic servants. In response to your question, I shall now tell you what little I know about this subject. For the effort of even greatest philosophers and theologians to depict the Lord Mahavishnu's greatness is limited by the smallness of their capacity. Even great poets, great writers, great philosophers cannot describe you. You are so great. Just as a small bird's flight is in the immeasurable sky, so I shall, though it is so, but I shall try to relate to you the story you wanted to know, how this Bhagavat came out and how the story is. So this is the verse number 24 we read now. It is in discretion of the king Parikshit. Parikshit, you know, he was the grandson of Arjuna and the great pious personality who was protected by Krishna again and again in his life. So the story, now the narrator continues the story. The story is, this is the ground from which this whole Bhagavat book has come out. Once Parikshit went hunting into the forest. After chasing wild animals for a long time, bow and arrow in hand, he became very much exhausted by hunger and thirst. Searching for a tank or a well in the neighborhood, he walked into the hermitage of a sage. His name is Somik. Somik. So this Somik was a sage, hermit. He had family, household life with children, but deeply spiritual. There he saw the sage Samik was seated with eyes closed and wrapped in a peaceful meditation. So he was totally like deep in his meditation. The sage sat there with senses, breath, mind and intellect under control. That means senses, eyes, etc., all the senses are controlled, not listening, not hearing. And the breath, that is in a state of what is called kumbhaka, mind control, intellect is also restrained. He was established in the Turiya transcendental level, a state unaffected by any change and transcending the three states of waking, dream and sleep. That means you are staying in a level of samadhi. Beautifully described that he is beyond the three states, waking state, dream state and sleep state. We go through three states. But this sage is so much deep in samadhi, he has gone to the gross world, to the subtle world, to the causal world, lives in the absolute. And his body was covered with the skin of a roru, a kind of deer. He was wearing a deer skin. His matted locks lay disabled, enveloping him on all sides. That means there's so many severe austerities, he does not take care of his body. Matted locks means the hair grows and it does not, you don't take care, naturally it gets matted. Locks into locks. The thirsty king approached him and asked for water. Alas, the king became angry, as he felt insulted in not being offered a seat, nor even a word of welcome. No? But he is the king of the entire country. That's called the emperor of the country. And he is going to a hut, poor one Brahmin. Is he meditating or making a fake show? That was in his mind. So he, king, then became angry. Why angry? He feels insulted. The king has come, what people will say, if the president comes over here, whoever may be the president of the country, what will you do? So you will have to give a seat, welcome him, minimum courtesy. And he is not caring. And he is requesting for a glass of water. So insulted in not being offered a seat, nor even a word of welcome. So 29 verse says, tortured by hunger and thirst as he was, the king felt overcome all of a sudden by an unusual antagonism and anger towards that holy man. He suddenly, naturally, he felt angry. Normally, he is a man of great spirituality. He should not be. But under the impulse of hunger and thirst, if you are too much hungry, and thirsty, you are asking for a glass of water.
They call it hangry.
Huh?
Hangry.
Hungry.
Hangry.
Hungry. So that's why it is said the anger is a devil in the path of spirituality. They are called the demons who obstruct our awareness into stops this awareness into God realization. They are obstacles. Before leaving the hermitage, so he was anger, and then before leaving a hermitage, he took a dead serpent with the end of his bow and put it round the holy man's neck. Then he departed to his city. Because he was a yogi, real yogi or fake yogi. Anyhow, so if you are yogi like Shiva, so you should have a snake on your neck. So he found a dead snake somewhere and wrapped around his neck. But the king did so to ascertain whether he was really in samadhi with all his senses absorbed, or whether he was pretending to be so in spirit of contempt towards Kshatriyas as a class. There is a rivalry between the upper classes, no? Kshatriya class, Brahmin class. Brahmins are considered to be the highest in the class, no? And Kshatriyas are not less. So they have a little rivalry, antagonism, that who is great? Your king has come. What's the king? I don't care for the king. I am Brahmin, higher than the Kshatriya. So that pride, that pride worked? Or genuinely he is in samadhi? So he put that way. The sage had a young son of great spiritual luster. It's called the boy was very pure. Yes, and this truth, whatever comes out of the Brahmin's words, that become true. That was called the truthfulness, power of truthfulness. If one practices truthfulness, whatever comes out of his mouth, that will be true. In the Raja Yoga, you can find that sutra. If you are established in Satya, truthfulness, then whatever comes out of your mouth, it will happen. So the boy was just then playing with others of his age when he playing in some other at a distance, somewhere gone with the friends. And when he came to know his father was humiliated by the king, that time he came to be aware that the king came and king humiliated, insulted my father. But respect for father, love for father. She was so angry that how dare my father is in meditation and the king, because he has the audacity to insult my father with this type of thought.
But he is a Brahmin boy, right? Brahmin should know to control anger and all this. Otherwise,
He's a boy, child.
But say, you are Brahmin.
Brahmin.
You are the highest Status you are
Yeah,
enjoying.
if you are an adult, then it's okay. But this is all playing in the duality. The king Parikshit is not an ordinary guy. He should not insult a holy man meditating. We ask for drinking water. He is not aware that you should not put a snake on his neck. Dead snake. And live snake would have been much dangerous. At least dead snake. And that also thing. And also this child, the son of a Brahmin, in those days, they're an austere. And there is a rivalry between the Brahmins and the
And he
Kshatriyas.
got punishment from his father later.
No, he only scolded him. I don't know. Let me see. Here, there you'll find. Then and there he declared, see the atrocity that see my son, the son who went to play with the other children of his age group. Then there he declared, see the atrocity committed by a Kshatriya, fattened like a crow or a watchdog on a Brahmana, on whom he is in duty bound to attend. Kshatriya should attend to a Brahmin, not to insult a Brahmin. Those days that was the custom. Any poor Brahmin comes in the royal in the palace, the king will stand up with all his ministers to show him respect, because they are Brahmin, spiritual people. So these villainous Kshatriyas are ordained to be the dogs of Brahmanas and guard their homes. How can such a guard of a dog get into the house and eat all the food kept within, including the vessels? It is not true. He's saying that the dogs, what they do, street dogs come and dogs eat away the food what is kept for. So he's comparing the king to be the dog. He's so angry. A child got mad. A childish anger. Including she says that they are these villainous Kshatriyas, these bad types of kings, are ordained to be the dogs of Brahmanas. Brahmin is spiritually powerful. And that was the point. Brahmin, as I said, the Brahmin will go, the king will stood up from his throne and salute him, touching his feet. No? Honor, great honor. Instead, they guard their homes. The Kshatriyas will be guarding the Brahmins, like a dog protects his boss. How can such a guard of a dog, like a dog, he should guard my father, instead of get into the house, he has entered into the house and eat all the food kept with him, means the honor, respect, love which my father should get. He has eaten away all this, including the vessels. Now that Krishna, the hammer against the wicked and the unrighteous, is no longer there. The boy says so many things. Now that Krishna, the Lord, the hammer against the wicked, and he's there just to crush them. The example is the little again. Krishna Gati Bhagavati. Because Krishna is gone, the hammer against the wicked and the unrighteous is no longer there. There is again a research of the tribe of violators of the moral norm. You seem to be a fellow of that type. I shall now teach you a lesson. See my power. The Brahmin boy, out of anger, and is saying all these words. Verse 36. Saying so, the boy, his eyes red with rage, purified himself with the water of the Kaushiki and uttered the following curse that was irresistible like a thunderbolt. He just cursed the king. What he said, 37 verse. Within 7 days, the serpent Takshaka shall, as directed by me, bite this fellow, the persecutor of my father. He is a veritable threat to his own clan and the violator of all moral codes. So boy said, out of anger, that within 7 days I am cursing him. It will happen that this snake, one variety of snake, which is called takshaka, very venomous probably, shall, as directed by me, I am a Brahmin son, I have austerity, the power of austerity I have. And I have the power, whatever comes out, that will be true. By my direction, bite this fellow, the persecutor of my father, because he has insulted my father. Huh? He is a veritable threat to his own clan. In their own clan, he should be humble, respectful. Instead, he is like that. He is a veritable threat of all moral codes. Then the boy went to his hermitage, and this all happened when he heard, when he was playing with the other boys, somebody came back and said, your father has been put in snake like this, not seeing actually what has happened. It's not a wise statement though, but he did it because he's a child. While playing with this, at that time he get into the rage and uttered these words. Then the boy went to his hermitage, and seeing his father seated there with a dead snake dangling around his neck, cried aloud in utter sorrow. This gives one society's picture. Society was so pure, how much love they carry for their father. No, it is all anger is coming because his father is insulted. That means love for father, respect for father. A society, better society is like that. Love and respect for each other. Now, the verse number 39. That the sage belonging to the line of Angirasa now opened his eyes, roused by the crisis of this boy. The boy was fomenting with anger and frustration and shouting, who has done this to my father? I have cursed him. He will die within 7 days. The curse begins. Within 7 days, the serpent Takshaka, the serpent shall, as directed by me, bite this fellow, the persecutor of my father. No? But this father was unaware of all these things. He, with the shouting and howling going on, so he came down, opened his eyes, and then he found he is belonging in a great lineage of Brahmins, Angirasa. He now opened his eyes, roused by the cries of the boy. The boy started crying, emotionally lost. He is one time crying, one time cursing, crying for the father, cursing the other person, as children will do. But he is not ordinary children. What he has said, that will follow. Truth will follow there. Seeing the dead snake, he threw it away and asked his son. He didn't know anything, so he, what is snake? Yes, sir, threw away. And asking the son, why are you weeping? Who harmed you? He does not know anything. He's saying probably the boy is crying because somebody has done something wrong to him. And the boy reported to him all that had happened. On hearing everything, the sage did not congratulate his son on his having cursed the king who deserved it the least. That his father was unhappy with the reaction of his own son. His son should not behave like that against that auspicious king, Parikshita. So he was very unhappy with that. He said to his son, to him, "Alas, the foolish boy that you are, you have committed a great wrong. For a minor offense, you have inflicted a major punishment. Yes, you can punish, you have the Brahminic power, but it is called a logu pape guru danda. That means heavy punishment for performing a little offense. So it should not be done by you. You are a Brahmin boy." And he scolded his son. "Oh boy of immature understanding, a king is not to be looked upon as an ordinary man. He is an expression of the divine, for it is by his might, irresistible to enemies, that the country is protected and the people afford prosperity and security. When the king, embodying the protective power of the divine, disappears, then what will happen if the king goes, such a good king like Parikshit, goes away, dies? What will happen? Then the thieves begin to abound. The society, all types of negative forces will, when powerful administration is gone, all the gang people get up when there is no administration. Their power become more dominant in the society when good power, to protective power is lost. No? So the king is for protecting the interest of the subjects, and he is a good king, Parikshit, and they are committing this blunder. If he dies, given 7 days, he will die. If it happens, then we will be in danger. The thugs and mean character people will dominate the society because they will be powerful, raise their hood. When the king embodying the protective power of the divine disappears, thieves began to abound, and human society, with none to sustain and direct, gets disrupted like a pack of sheep without a herdsman. For the theft and plunder that will then take place in the country, theft will and plunder will take care in the country in the absence of a ruler. We also will be partly responsible, though we may not be directly connected with those crimes. Yes, people, we have nothing, we are Brahmins, we have nothing to lose. But they will disturb the other people in the whole society. So, though we will not be affected, but it will affect the good people in the society. Many will be the crimes perpetrated by these lawbreakers. They will kill one another, quarrel among themselves, and steal away cattle, women, and property. Then will be the destroyer of the Aryan religion, Arya Dharma, the noble law of life, based on the Vedas and the divisions of men into Varna and Ashrama. That means the society in that time is divided into 4 Varnas. What are the Varna? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And they are performing, if they fall short of their performing their own duties. Brahmana does not do Brahmanic duty, and Kshatriya will not do their own duty. Then society will be a mess. So, men will become interested merely in the pursuit of wealth and pleasure. The world, the society will be all selfish. And now, always trying to think of me and mine, not for others' benefit. There are good people, but majority of the society means what? So the majority people's actions and behaviors. So without a good ruler, good king, honest, suppose you go to the third world countries, what happens? You bribe some money, and you get away with all the crimes. You go and bribe the police with some, you did someone. I know when I was a small child, I know, when I may be a young boy. So somebody has killed a young man by jealousy, and then they put him hanging in the as if he has committed suicide himself, and went and bribed the police in such a way. The police came, inquiry came. No, he has committed suicide. That was the verdict, and he get away all this. But if he is a truthful, honest society is there, judgment is there, he will catch him and put to punishment. That is the king's duty. So ruler's duty is like that. So without that, these men will be interested merely in the pursuit of wealth and pleasure, and as among monkeys and dogs, promiscuity will prevail in the human society too. The king deserves not to be cursed by you, by us, for he is the protector of Dharma and a man of great reputation, highly devoted to God, and one who has performed Aswamedha sacrifice. That means big power. He has been accepted by many small kings as their allies. Besides, he was physically exhausted when he came to here, Parikshit, physically exhausted and afflicted with hunger and thirst. When people get hungry and thirsty, you should have to take care of him rather than when he committed the offense. He angry and angrily he did this. May the Lord, the soul of all, pardon this boy of immature mind for the sin he has committed by inflicting punishment on an innocent servant of the Lord. His father is a wise person. He understands. A child, that's why maturity is necessary. Power is not good unless it falls in the hand of a mature people or the right type of people. Putin has the power. Look at that Putin's effect. What is happening? How much suffering for innocent people? How much destruction of this? To build up some civilization is a question. To destroy by bombing, it takes what? That is the point. So that is why inflicting innocent people are getting. So the proper king should be there. And that's why Ram Rajya. We call Rama's kingdom. Why? Rama's kingdom is appreciated so much. Justice prevails. Anyone does anything wrong, he will be punished, genuinely punished. And genuine false things should be there so that the society does not go out of the way. A true devotee of the Lord, though he might be endowed with power, will never retaliate for an injury done to him, but it insult, deception, curse, belittling or beating by. Be it insult. A devotee of the Lord who is a lover of God, he does not behave like an ordinary person. You did it, tit for tat. Okay, you did it, I'll give it to her. That is not a devotee of God will not do that. Rather, though they might be endowed with power, they can give a blow back, but will never retaliate for an injury done to him. Someone did some injury to that person, he had the power to absorb it. Be it little insult, be it deception, somebody, be it curse, be it belittling, be it beating. That is the true devotee of God. Rather, God prays for this type of people will pray for the welfare of the person who is beating him. No. Christ said, what he said? They do not know what they are doing. bless them. No? What is the exact language?
Forgive them, Father. They know
Huh?
not what they do.
They do not know what they are doing, no? Forgive them.
Forgive.
Forgive them, O Lord, forgive them. They do not know what they are doing. No. So he could have cursed. What? You dare touch me? And by his miraculous power, what he cannot do? He could have done everything what is possible. That's why it is said that a true devotee of the Lord, though he might be endowed with power, but that means you are a Brahmin boy, you have your austerity of the past life, and our traditional austerity and study of the scriptures, everything is there. You have some power yourself, and you apply it in this wrong way by cursing, and final curse. Within 7 days, you will die. How much
But
anger?
the thing is that I think the story is not that straightforward because they say this Takshak, that snake, this Kuru dynasty and this Naga dynasty, Takshak was the head of them. Now they had rivalry from the very beginning, like that they used to live in that Khanda, that forest. Arjuna burnt it. And that
Khandavadaha.
time, and that time, Takshak and his family were in very much trouble. And they made that Indraprastha, that wonderful palace there. Then later, this Takshak's son, he was Brihadbala. Abhimanyu killed him in the war. So he was very angry with that Arjuna, Abhimanyu.
That's why the Taksaka he has applied Taksaka to fight.
Aha, then these go together. Then Takshashila is their place. So then when Janmejaya became king, this Parikshit, he wanted to remove all these Nagas, especially to kill this Takshak, like that their head. So then it's from Arjuna to Abhimanyu to Parikshit to Janmejaya, these two, his father's son was going parallelly.
Fight.
And Brahmins time to time got involved in that. Like here, this Brahmin son said that, oh, you did bad to me, your enemy will kill you. Like that.
Yeah.
And then finally, when this Janmejaya was killing all the snakes, then another Brahmin,
Sarpa-Yoga.
yeah, they say Sarpa-Yoga, but actually was the war between Takshashila and Kurukshetra. And then finally, that another sage, that is another Brahmin, Astika, he came, Astik Muni. His mother, Manasha, was from this Naga dynasty. And then he said that don't kill them. Then he interfered and then stopped it like that. So it's
Anyhow, these are mythical thing one side, another is the historical side. Historical side, Naga means the snake. But that not Naga. Even now you can find in Indian names, surname is Naga.
My grandfather, Nagalingam.
So Naga. So Naga is not a really snake, but it's a clan of people, and they has fight with other people. That's always there, no? One group has animosity with the other. And what is the problem? They wanted to build a new palace in Indraprastha, a town. Naturally, they have to cut the forest. When they cut the forest, those are the places of the Nagas.
Nagas used to live there.
Nagas used to live. They used to live in the forest life. They had to go out, and then innocently they're saying, "Why are you cutting our, destroying our place?" They get into fight. So that is the thing. It started, and that conflict. But anyhow, here we say physically, it is the historical side, but mythical side is that a Taksaka will bite you. But yeah, you should not curse like that. So a true devotee of the Lord, though he might be endowed with power, will never retaliate for an injury done to him, be it insult, deception, deep, a curse, belittling, or beating. So, though the sage thus expressed his regret for the sin, committed by his son, he did not even once think of the insult and injury that the king had inflicted on him personally. That is the greatness of the holy man, the hermit who was mentioned. He, though he's talking about the son, but he says thus expressed his regret for the sin committed by his own son. He did not even once think of the insult done to him. That's why he is a Brahmin. So much insult is done, he is not taking as insult. That's the what the character is like that, no? Who is great? Who can absorb so much of insult or disrespect and others and don't react. Other people, that's the Brahminic quality. Brahminic quality, that's a monk's quality. Brahmin's quality are these qualities. He is bad, go and beat him. He has said one foul word, you use 5 foul words. This is the world, this is the way of the world. But if you are a monk, if you are a Brahmin, monk means the Brahmins are the 4 stages of life. Brahman, 4 classes, no? There are Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Among them, Brahmin is in the top. Their character should be ideal, the society to follow their ideal. So he himself is an example. He never cursed, he never felt insulted by the king's behavior. Whereas the son got, because he's immature son, he got behaving, getting. He had the power, but does not know how to control the power. You have atomic power. Putin is saying, oh yeah, get ready for the nuclear power. No? All the places should be ready at any point. No? What will happen to the world, no one knows. If he said like a crazy guy sometimes gives the order, then it will see what the condition of the world will happen. So this is not the nature of a Brahminic. Brahmins will, like Christ gave the example, that is the Brahminic quality. Sannyasi's quality, even that story. Someone was, a monk was going in an innocent monk, he was beaten by some people and he became unconscious. And then when he came back to consciousness, someone is feeding the milk. Then he said, who has beaten you? Made you this wretched condition, deplorable condition. He said, he, one who is feeding me the milk, he has beaten me. That means God there, God here. They have no anger. Somebody insulted me, not insulted. With a rod in hand, beat me and I become unconscious and fell down with bleeding. And that person, when coming back to sense, who has done this to you? He who is feeding me with love and affection, same God, he has, in another costume, has destroyed this or created this suffering. So, no question of anger, no question of revenge, no question of feeling insult. That should be the character of a Brahmin. Holy men do not feel any elation or depression in either happy or adverse experiences of life. For the Atman is not dependent on the gunas of the Prakriti. And see all this story, but at the same time, highest Vedanta. That is the beauty of the Bhagavatam. Though it is understood wrongly, people will say it is only dualistic book of devotion. It is devotion, it is bhakti, it is knowledge, it is karma, everything is here. Here ends this chapter, what is called the 18th chapter, ends here. Now, if any question comes, then I will read a little bit and stop. If no question, then I will continue. Now, Atha Eko Unovimshati Adhyayo. Now is the chapter, 19th chapter.
So someone is asking, is Naga mean in Sanskrit elephant?
Nago.
God.
Naga means snake. But
Naga means snake. I do not know. You have to see the dictionary.
no, not in for sure.
Gaja.
Gaja,
Gaja.
Gaja. No, Sanskrit is such a language. How Naga means we know snake. Now Sutta. Now the 19th chapter starts. Parikshit's resolve and Suto'S arrival. This thing happened in the forest where Parikshit went for hunting, and then he thirsty, and with the Brahmin, with the curse of the Brahmin's son, all these things happened there. Sutta was. Now, Sutta continues, the narrator continues the story. Parikshit now repentant because he is a holy person, honest person. Out of anger or out of frustration, thirst and hunger, he just put that snake on the innocent sage who is not in his outer consciousness. So Sutta said, the narrator said, the king now began to repent of the heinous act he had done and thought, alas, I have perpetrated this ignoble crime on this innocent Brahmana, possessed of the subdued luster of one living a true spiritual life. He is living a true spiritual life, the third stage of life, hermit's life, thinking of God, meditating on God, and thinking of God in such deep depth, so that he's totally unaware of who is coming, who is asking, is not there. Such a deep meditator, So I have committed a crime by insulting him. The sin of insulting a holy man will before long bring some calamity and suffering on me. Let that punishment fall on me soon, in such a way that it will not only wash away the sin, but turns the mind away from our forever from such misdeeds. So he is saying that the sin in insulting the holy man it has a negative karma, will bring a negative effect. I have committed something and its bad effect will come to me. Therefore, it will bring some suffering to me. So let it be quickly. Let me end this suffering quickly in such a way that it not only washes away my sins, but turns the mind away from forever from such misdeeds. I'll never have to think about any misdeed. I will just think of God totally, and I will just get absorbed in God only. Let the flame of the Brahmana's anger burn up even today my kingdom, my army, and my overflowing treasury. May not my impure mind hereafter ever turn in this sinful direction against Brahmanas, against the devas, against the cows. In Indian culture, cow culture, meaning, because cows, jagna, that was the major thing. For that they need ghee, clarified buttermilk. So milking, out of that milk they make a buttermilk, and that buttermilk makes the ghee, and that is to be offered to ghee. So he says that let the flame of Brahmana's anger burn up even today my kingdom, my army, my overflowing treasure. Now, my kingdom is so rich, because it is honest kingdom and we have treasury enough. Good kingdom. This country's income is less. In this country, why you have to go to debt? Because some people are stealing the money. No country should be, African countries, you call poor countries. It is not poor. They have enough natural resources and other things. Huh? But it is in the hands of few people. The whole America's money is within few billionaires, no? They say how much percentage there is analysis. The whole total asset of the America, as a major portion is within the hand of which, how many people, with a very limited people. So every country is like that. So, but good king, that treasury is always strong treasury. Honesty, sincerity, everything, rule, proper ruling, everything is there. That's the result. But may not be impure mind hereafter ever. My mind should not turn in this direction anymore for me. Huh? That I will be angry with the Brahmins, I will insult the gods and goddess or the people of godly character. This should not be. While engaged in such reveries, he heard that in accordance with the curse of the sage's son, death would approach him in the form of a serpent, Takshaka. That he heard. By that time, the message came one to the king that he will have to die within 7 days. That is the curse of the son of the sage. Reflecting that, the threat of the fiery poison of Takshaka can generate renunciation even in men with strong worldly attachment. He welcomed it. Bah, what a great fortune. No? I understand I've done something wrong, and I am till what the need, this world is like this, so I should be off. I should not misbehave anymore. Yeah. So I get out of this world. No? And this time he heard that this curse for 7 days, death will happen. And he said, I welcome it. He had even before arrived by discrimination. He himself have arrived to this conclusion that I don't want to live in the world as a king. I want to live a life dedicated to God, to counteract my sin which I have committed. And the next, this world and the next are both trifling things fit to be renounced. Abandoning the desire for both these and looking upon the service of Krishna as the highest consummation that man can achieve, he now resorted to the bank of the Ganga, and took a vow of fast until death. So he went giving up his kingdom and moved towards the bank of Ganga, Holy Ganga. It is said, if you want to go to heaven, and holy, you have to die on the bank of Ganga. Even a tradition, Ganga Joli, those people who are almost in the verge, last part of their life, they are taken on the bank of Ganga, Holy Ganga, so that their body touches the holy waters. So when the body goes, their mind will be purified by the Mother Ganga's grace. So that's the faith. So he said that he left Krishna, thinking of Krishna, he will spend his time. So he resorted to the bank of Ganga and took a vow of fast until death. So he will not drink any water. That was the way previously people used to die. That if you stop intake of water, naturally all the vital organs will collapse gradually. So I will die like that. I will not drink anything. I will think of the Lord day and night. That is still the style. But now people don't follow this. At least we heard when we were a young child, we used to hear Ganga Joli. That's called Ganga Joli. Huh? Antar Joli, Ganga Joli. Okay. Now, the holy Ganga, flowing with sanctified water, leads its holiness in the course of its flow, even to Maheshwara, besides to both the heaven and the earth. So, holy Ganga connects us from Shiva to the mundane earth, no? Heaven and they are connected as it were with purity. Which man in the jaws of death will not resort to it? So, any sensible person to go to heaven, get out of this world, and not to do such crime anymore, be purified by resorting to the Holy Ganga. The king of Pandu's line, deciding thus to observe a fast until death on the bank of Ganga, the offspring of Vishnu's feet, where the Ganga comes. The Lord Ganga comes from the feet up. There is a story, myth that Vishnu's feet, the Ganga originates. There is a Ramakrishna's life, it happened. Holy Mother, the vision. Holy Mother saw that Ramakrishna as from the feet of a mystic vision. Ramakrishna is going, and from his feet, Mother Ganga is overflowing, and people are getting liberated. And Swami Vivekananda is throwing flowers on that.
Yeah. Thakur is going in Ganga and his body marks there, and Swamiji was taking Ganges water and was
sprinkling on
everyone, and they are getting liberated.
So, see, the story gets distorted. So, correct story is this. Correct story is this, that Sri Ramakrishna, as if getting down in the steps, that happened in Nilambar Babu's garden house. So, Mother was seeing that as Ramakrishna appeared, and Ramakrishna is going down into the steps, down the steps to the Holy Ganga. And as he goes, as if his body is melted, and he is melting into the Mother Ganga. And then Swami Vivekananda came, and so many people there in that water, there are all around, and Swami Vivekananda sprinkling that holy water, and everyone is getting liberated. So it is said that from the feet of their Lord, the Ganga, the Holy Ganga, Ganges, that's the origin. The offspring of Vishnu's feet decided to meditate on the Lord to the exclusion of everything else, having abandoned all attachments and adopted the mode of life of an ascetic. So this is the way. Then the King Parikshit came, and he then came to the bank of the Ganga and decided, I will not drink any water. I will think of the Krishna and spend my last breath on the bank of Ganga for my expiating, like he was, that for removing the sins which I have incurred already. Now, conversation with the rishis about his Parikshit's resolve. Now, this because Parikshit was a great king. When this message went into the people of the country, they got really perturbed, disturbed, because such a good king, if he goes away, unrighteousness will be prevailing in the society. So they will be expressing their worries, anxieties, and then they will request Parikshit not to take that decision to die. So that will be next day's reading from verse number 8. So you finished here up to verse number 7. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Panamastu. Those who know these stories, they can really actually, that's why thousands of people get very charmed when they, the reader, they explain these things with their stories, right type of stories. I do not know much. I say. Okay.
But we still enjoy, Maharaj.
Huh?
We still enjoy. We're not thousands, we're a few sincere.
No, there it will be much interesting if anyone can really.
Because see, this is the fight between urbanization. Because when you read Ramayana, it's all about village, village, village. Not much about forest and village. But in Mahabharata time, you see that urbanization started. Now they are making palace, road, and all this thing. Naturally, the tribal life and all these things, that conflict started
Conflict, yeah.
coming here. So,
That's why it is only on one side is this side, another is historic side.
Yeah. It's usually like that every religion. Swamiji said, we read today, philosophy, mythology, and ritual.
Three things, yeah. Makes a